welcome to the preview show, and not just a normal preview show, because we're doing a double preview show today. And you will think, what? A double preview show? Yes, because today we are going to talk about, of course, Malaga Club de Football, but also about something very traditional. I would say it's the biggest week for the people in Malaga who believe. And remember, not everybody believes, but I think most people believe, of course, in Malaga Club de Football, but they also believe in God, and it has to do with their religion. It's the Holy Week, better known in Spain as Semana Santa, the big week, where I think over the past month, everything is and is about Semana Santa, the weather, and the traslados. So, a very important week for Malaga Club de Football and of all the Vírgenes and Cristos and cofradías who will are waiting with great enthusiasm towards the Holy Week in Malaga, and with so many Cristos and Vírgenes on the streets of Malaga, I think they will help Malaga get next week, give Malaga next week the 3 points. And so it's important to do both. And I think doing the Giricas, it's also important because we are Malaga Club de Football podcast. We also have to do about a bit about the traditions. So welcome, Joe.
Hello, Chris. How you doing?
You have slept well over the past few days?
Feeling fresh. It's been a tough week to get over the result on Sunday, but as the week goes on, you get closer to
Yeah,
the weekend, and that means more football. So, and of
yeah.
course, edging closer to Semana Santa.
You had a good 5 minutes of rest.
Yeah, I'll take every moment I can get.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect. Sergio, how was your week so far?
Uh, Tough, as Joe said, but recurring. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the biggest week of the city, and that doesn't mean because Malaga play. It's Semana Santa. So yeah, happy because it's finally Semana Santa, and let's see if the weather behaves and we can enjoy it.
Yeah, because it has been raining a lot over the past few months in Malaga. If there's something, it can for people in Malaga, it can rain the whole year, except for 1 week a year, because if it rains, there are no processions. So to give a bit of an idea what it's all about, Easter's coming up, and the week before is Easter. You will see in and around Malaga thousands, hundreds and thousands of people on the streets, and not only in Malaga city, but also in the whole province and probably in the whole of Andalusia and other parts of Spain, because it's also a tradition in some other parts of Spain as well. And what are these processions about? Well, it's a bit of the story about Jesus and the whole week before he died. So that's why in Spain they call it Domingo de Ramos. Sergio, you are a Malagueño from the city. You know a lot about Semana Santa.
Yeah, I do.
You are on the streets with a lot of weight on your shoulder.
I am. Yeah.
And not
As you said, it's a very, very, very big week here in Malaga. And not only in Malaga, in general in North Spain, but where it's more popular with the processions, it's in the whole Andalusia. So the other cities will be with the same expectation. And yeah, it's a very popular week. A lot of people go to the streets and watch the processions, and a lot of people participate in the processions as well. Myself participate in two of them, and one is on Monday night, so I'll be missing Malaga when they play Huesca. I don't know if that's a
Ooh,
good
this is
thing. I don't know if
interesting.
it's a bad thing, but I will be missing it.
I have
So
to I have to go because I'm going through them. But I will go through the days. There are a few which stick out for me in Malaga. Um, but maybe before we get into it, there's a few things about Malaga. Why Semana Santa in Malaga is so popular in the rest of Spain, maybe in the rest of Europe. I think what stands out in Malaga and in the province of Malaga is that in a normal procession, as you will see in Granada, Sevilla, Cordoba, the people who are taking the how do you call it, a throne.
So yeah, in English, yeah,
Here
throne.
in Spain it's a trono. They go inside, but in Malaga they're on the outside. And why? I will explain you. Because Malaga has the biggest thrones in Spain, and in the city of Malaga, for example, I will check if I can get some stats, but I think the normal it's between the average amount of men walking underneath it is about 200, 250, something like that. If I'm wrong, correct me. But it's huge. It's huge, probably, and that's a cool thing. If you're ever in Malaga and you see a church or you see a building with a name on it, and it has doors which are basically 4 meters high, then you know that a procession is starting from that place. Am I right, Sergio?
Yeah, you're all right. So
You can
next time
recognize
you're in
it by the
Malaga, you should check out, and if you're interested,
yeah.
search for it and maybe coming over in Semana Santa because it's a totally different thing that you've probably never seen and it's really good. So yeah.
I think you can recognize it by the big doors, and that's fun for somebody who never goes to Malaga or doesn't not really into Semana Santa.
Mm.
If you see a huge door 4 meters high, I think 3 meters, it's a door where a procession starts.
Yeah, probably a lot of people that have been to Malaga before have seen them and don't really know what it is. So if you're hearing and listening to today's podcast, you would probably have learned something else about Malaga. So yeah, that's what
So,
the big massive doors are all about.
Joe, what do you know about Semana Santa in general? We won't ask you about Malaga.
Yeah, the specifics in Malaga. I mean, I just got a picture up of the throne, and yeah, it's huge. Um, yeah, I mean, so like I said, I spent a lot of time in Spain with my girlfriend's family. Never been there for Semana Santa, but of course, I'm aware of the significance of the week. And yeah, I think as well, like if we do relay it back to Malaga, again, it's still something that I need to learn about as well, even as someone who's been in Spain a lot. But I think if you're supporting a club, the culture of the club and the city is also important as well. So I'd encourage everyone to, like me, who should also, to do the research behind it.
I mean,
And
you have the dream to come and move over to Malaga, to the Malaga region.
one day, yes,
Yes.
back in Spain,
Every village,
yeah, it's a
everything is Semana Santa. The village where I live, Benomana, is the same. So I hope we can teach you a bit in the coming few minutes. But we have to start with important things. Maybe one thing that everybody asks about is the Nazareno costume, because it relates a lot to how to the KKK in America.
yeah.
You say it as it is, something we are against. But people always find that a bit strange, Sergio. What can you tell us about the Nazareno?
Well, I can start with a funny story, and this is back from my own mum. That the first time that she came here to Malaga and watched the procession of Semana Santa, she was flabbergasted because she thought it was something related with the KKK. So, in that way, it is understandable that people get confused because it's a really similar costume, but it's got nothing to do with it. It's an act of let's go. I think it's the correct word. Penitence of
Yeah,
the someone that is doing the showing their penitence and the procession. So no, it's not nothing to do with that. And yeah, I don't
And we
understand a
can,
lot of people get
yeah,
confused.
we can actually say Semana Santa existed earlier, Nazarenos existed earlier than this little group in America,
Yeah,
which unfortunately they took over the I don't know how we even got
like
the
Yeah,
yeah, like
Gabirote.
fresh.
yeah. Unfortunately, I
Um,
think that applies to a lot of symbols throughout history. So yeah, it's important that people learn the origins before, yeah, I guess having any prejudice, let's say.
yeah, so it was the Americans stealing it from Spain, and that's a bit unfortunately. Another thing you might not understand, and I hope Sergio can answer it. I know the answer, but what there are people carrying thrones who are blindfolded. Other one do it on bare feet. Other ones do it with their feet. How do you call them? I wouldn't say tied up, but you know what I mean. Why, Sergio?
Well, there's multiple reasons, and each person have their own reason to do it. What I've understood, or what I know, is that a lot of people do it like what I said before, like a penitence, like a promise, doing the procession, and they do it once a year. So they might do it for the asking of something. So they promise of wearing or a blindfold during 6 to 7 hours to basically like for a promise or for the
Yeah,
penitence during the procession.
some do it to well to basically show regret of something they did in their
True.
personal life. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're cheated on their partner.
Yeah.
Um, it could be anything. So some people do it of regret, and other people do it for another person.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people do it for deceased family members, and other people do it for yeah, for what for uh, sick family members that passed away. So it can be anything. There are 7 days, and some days are maybe more important than others. It starts on a Sunday, Domingo de Ramos, and that's probably one of the most well. That's where it probably during the past 10 years it get most um most attention in the rest of the world. And why? Because Sunday, 13th of April, starts with the Cofradía de Polinica. Very nice. It's a throne with I believe how do you call it, a burro, a donkey,
A donkey.
a donkey. But then, and this is what probably goes throughout the World Wide Web and throughout TV. This is why everybody's interested. Hermandad de Lágrimas y Favores goes out on the streets and they have this beautiful anthem, like really, really beautiful. Somos fusionados. Very beautiful. But why is it so famous? Probably because the person walking before the throne, so not carrying it, but guiding the members, is Antonio Banderas. And it's beautiful seeing him as a just a normal Malagueño because I think that's the only day he can walk through Malaga, having a bit of a normal life, isn't it, Sergio?
Yeah, definitely. And he's always been very committed with his cofradia since he was a kid. And yeah, very very nice seeing him being like you just said, being just one more of the city
Yeah.
and with the tradition. So yeah, it's really good.
And he is
Yeah.
lucky that they have their
Hmm.
faces
Yeah.
hidden with a bit of a thing. Hermandad de Dulce Nombre. what do we have to say about that? Not really special, is it?
Well, it's one more from the neighborhood near the city center that's called Capuchinos. So yeah, it's a small cofradia, but it's got its followers from the neighborhood. So yeah, they go out on the Sunday, and yeah, it's very nice to see as well.
And now we go to Saturday because we won't do them all, but there's over 40 processions in Malaga city during the week. Um, Monday is probably the most important day for Malaga because there is one trono who is probably, well, they call him the Señor of Malaga, so the Sir of Malaga. Um, but now I have to guess because you're on Monday, and this is difficult because I think if I have to guess, it's not the Cautivo you are.
No, it's not.
I would go with Estudiantes.
No,
No,
no, Gitanos. No,
really
yeah, yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
Mhm.
What can you tell us about Cristo de los Gitanos? Because I don't know not a lot about it, but it has a special story because it's been adopted basically by the Spanish or by the gypsy
Yeah,
people in Malaga.
yeah. Uh, well, it comes from a lot of years since the cofradia were created, and basically because the Jesus that comes out is got a very dark skin,
Yeah,
like the gypsies from Malaga and well, like in general, the gypsies, and it's the Jesus that they follow. They do it every time the procession comes out on the Monday. There's about 100 gypsies behind the throne clapping and singing, and they do it from the start to the to the ends, and it's like about
it's a flamenco party, isn't it?
yeah, it's like a party. So if you want to research it, it's very different and quite curious. But yeah, that's the procession I participate in, and as you said, it's on Monday, and another important procession comes out on Monday that is Cautivo,
Yeah,
and probably some of you already know which one it is because when Malaga went up, they went to take flowers to Cautivo, to where the church that it's
yeah.
in, and we hope that it brings
The
us
day
luck.
before Nastic, before on the day or the day before they traveled to Nastic,
Yeah, true.
the Malaga players went to take flowers to El Cautivo to ask for promotion basically, and
Promotion.
they got it.
Yeah,
And
and yeah, we
I
hope
know
that
that
it brings us
a
luck.
lot of Malaga fans went as well. Frente Boquerón went.
Mm,
A lot of other Malaga fans went to El Cautivo to ask for promotion for Malaga Club de Football.
yeah.
So I think that's the moment where El Cautivo really became big, or
Hmm.
under the Malaga fans, and I think it's the first time that a holy image is so being asked by the Malaga fans to give some hope. I think that was very special, and the music, the band who plays for El Cautivo played against Nastic de Tarragona on the pitch as well.
Yeah, true. This very nice relation with the club and the cofradia. We hope that it brings us luck because Malaga play at the same time that El Cautivo is going to be in the Malaga streets. So let's hope it brings us luck and we can come back from Huesca with the 3 points that we really need. Really need.
People have been very angry about this in Malaga.
Yeah,
That
true.
La
Yeah.
Liga and more that it's on the day that El Cautivo is on the streets. So
Yeah.
Malaga fans have been very angry about El Cautivo, Malaga playing on the same day as El Cautivo because I think it's the biggest procession in Malaga.
Hmm.
We can say that.
Yeah.
Um, a normal procession, because we're going to Tuesday. A normal procession is 5 to 6 hours, isn't it? Maybe 7.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, you would say.
Um, but on Tuesday something happens which is just crazy because then Nueva Esperanza starts their way from, well, close to La Rosaleda,
Hmm.
from what is it? Ciudad
Nueva
Jardín,
Málaga.
Nueva
Nueva
Malaga,
Málaga.
Nueva Malaga, close to Ciudad Jardín,
Mm-hmm.
and they walk all the way to the center, and they are 14 hours on the streets.
Yeah.
14 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Any other big thing on Tuesday?
La Cofradía del Rocío, that is one of the Virgin Mary's most known from the city.
The biggest one as well, if I'm right. It's the
Which one?
biggest thing of the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, it is. El Rocío is really popular as well here in Malaga. And yeah, from the Tuesday, that's the highlight, you would say.
Yeah, and then on a Wednesday, you have it's also a big day because then there's a special thing happening on Wednesday, and this is beautiful. Joe, are you still interested?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's important for everyone. Many people who listen to this either live in Spain or love Spain, and I think it's important to be aware of the significance.
During the how do you call it? During the pest? Am I right in saying this? The pest?
No lo sé.
I don't know.
When everybody was sick on the streets, I talk about hundreds of years ago. So I
The
don't know.
plague?
Yeah, the plague.
Oh,
During the
yeah.
plague,
Yeah.
you know where I'm going, right, Sergio?
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
think.
During the plague, this is on Wednesday. During the plague, in Spain, there was no Semana Santa. And as I said, Semana Santa is very important for everyone. So what happened? Some inmates of the jail in Malaga asked for permission to take out on a Wednesday Jesus el Rico, Jesus the rich one, and well, first they said no, but then they got permission because the plague was on the streets to make the people to, I don't know, to get the people a bit lifted up because everybody were in their homes, nobody could go out. It was like COVID, right? So you want to give the people the power to continue, and the inmates thought it was so important that they would give their lives or they would go through the danger of the plague, but they wanted to get out on streets with El Rico, and they got permission, and they did that. But what would you do as an inmate, or what if you ever watched Prison Break? You would never go back to prison, would you?
No.
But what did these men do? They all returned to prison. So they put their life in danger to get El Rico on the streets. And when the procession finished, because it was only them walking through Malaga with El Rico on their shoulders, they returned to prison. And that created something which is probably changed a lot of lives over the past 100 years. I don't know. I don't know what year it happened. But every year an inmate get released since then. So they release an inmate. Of course, they're choosing wise. So it's an inmate who did something wrong, which is not. I mean, if you were sentenced with murder, you don't get released during Wednesday. So it's a small crimes, but an inmate gets released, signed by, I don't know, the minister of justice in Spain. So it's a very big thing. Another thing that is very big about this, after the inmate get released, because none of the thrones or like Christs or say Marys on the thrones have any special effects. Can I call them special effects?
Yeah.
But after the inmates get released, El Rico does a cross.
Mm.
He gives a cross because El Rico has a cross, and he does this like you're forgiven, and that's very beautiful. I think. I think it's very special. It only happens in Malaga,
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
and
is.
I think it's very nice of the Spanish justice system that they still continue with this act. Are you surprised about this story?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, um, yeah, I think it's also a nice, I guess, like the symbolism of forgiveness as well. So I think
yeah,
it's yeah, if it's something that can be carried on for years and generations, and I assume until now that the person who was offending did not reoffend. I assume if they did, that would make headlines. So I guess they would also take the seriousness of their, I don't know, we call it like their forgiveness. I think they'd also take that serious as well in such a special tradition. So um, yeah, I had no idea about that, but also really, really interesting, and yeah, a lot of history behind it as well.
then my special day as well, Wednesday, because I really like El Rico and the story behind it. But I fell in love with La Paloma. That is one of my favorites. Paloma means pigeon, and what they do is they release thousands of pigeons being released everywhere through the city. When that throne comes, very special for me, and I think that song, because they have their own hymno, is stunning. It's one of the most famous hymnos of Semana Santa, I guess, in Malaga. Um, I think we covered the most important ones because there's also Thursday. Well, Thursday is very important as well because then the Spanish Legion comes to Malaga, and that's a very big thing as well.
Yeah.
They arrive on a boat, then they march through the city. They keep post at El Cristo de la Buena Muerte, um, and then they have a procession during the night. So it's a very long day, but very beautiful to see as well. Then you have the Friday and the Saturday, and Sunday is nothing, I believe.
No, yeah, the Friday there's processions,
Yeah,
and the Saturday is the only day that there's no processions, and then the
yeah,
Sunday is the last one.
yeah, true.
So
But
it's only the
there's
Saturday.
only there's only one procession, and that is the procession where Jesus got resurrected.
Hmm.
So there's only one that day. But you did too. You told us one.
Oh yeah, the second one comes out on the Thursday, and it's called Viñeros. It's a very historic cofradia, small one, but with its followers. So yeah, that's the two that I do. I'm looking forward to it.
If you have to pick five, no, yeah, five where which people should see.
Should say, uh, well, I'm gonna go the first one. It's mine, but I'm gonna say it Gitanos. But I think it's very uh, different or to the rest one because you've got the gypsies behind the throne singing. Obviously, you have to see Cautivo for what it means to the city and especially to Malaga Club de Football if you want to see something related with the club. Then I would say the Cofradia with the Spanish Legion because if you're not from Spain, you'll probably like it's very impressive when the Spanish Legion march around the streets. And then the last two I would say Rocio because it's very popular for the people of Malaga. And the last one I'm going to say El Rico for what you've been mentioning. So yeah, they're the five that I would say.
I would say um, Lágrimas en Favores on Sunday, Monday Gitanos, Tuesday Nueva Esperanza, and Paloma. Oh no, sorry, Wednesday Paloma
Mm.
and El Rico, and I would say Thursday with La Legion. And I will also say El Cristo de los El Cristo de los Gitanos is also which you
Yeah,
do. is also very nice to see because it's a really big flamenco party. Top spots in the city. There are seats which people reserve for a lot of money throughout the city, but I think the top places are Carreteria,
Mm-hmm.
um, Tribuna Los Pobres,
Mm-hmm.
the tribune of the poor people,
Mm-hmm.
Alameda, and I think as well of course, the Cathedral of Malaga.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big spot, and
Mhm.
I would say I don't know Larios.
Yeah, the only problem that all the chairs are there where
Yeah.
the people pay for, so it's quite difficult to see. But yeah, I think they're the top places that people should go and watch it.
So, are you interested in Semana Santa? Um, then it's very easy because Ciento Uno TV, also in English known as 101 TV, is showing from the early mornings till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, all the lives. So they're 24 hours a day. You can watch live streams on 101 TV. They're doing a great show. They're going through all the thrones, and it's over 40, so it's crazy in Malaga. So if you're in Malaga next week, just enjoy. Don't be afraid. Um, it's not the KKK coming from you. It's just Semana Santa. And for the people watching on YouTube, I have here, and I didn't hang it up there. Um, this is a tunica. This is what I'll be wearing next Tuesday when I'll have El Cautivo of Benalmádena on my shoulder next Tuesday. So if you're in it, if you like it, if you want to know more, ask us, watch 101 TV. And I think now it's a good moment to pass it over to Joe because now I believe that Malaga can get a win next week against Huesca.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of belief that the club needs. Actually, really, one quick note on Semana Santa. I just remembered that in the town where my girlfriend is from, they do a procession where I think it's Semana Santa, where yeah, lots of men dress up as Romanos, as Roman soldiers, and they keep encouraging me to join in with them one year. They
You
have a
should.
spare, they have a spare. I don't know if you call it a costume or outfit for me, and a lot of yeah, the parents of the brother of all the friends always encourage me to do it. So maybe one day you'll see me in.
Yeah, but listen, for a foreigner, if they ask a foreigner to do it, that means that they really, really like you, isn't it, Sergio?
Yeah, I mean, my perspective, because I was born here in
Yeah,
Malaga, and I've got all my Spanish side of the family, so it hasn't been my case of being like the foreigner coming in. But yeah, it's true that when there's someone from outside of the city, and I will even say Spain, it is like a shock for the people the, that participate in the cofradías and processions. They're not really used to seeing someone that's not from.
it's not something because it goes from family to family.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
probably
So,
Sergio is father.
mm,
Sergio is carrying the two tronos he's carrying because the whole family is in it because they are brotherhoods. I forgot to say that it's brotherhoods. So it goes from father to son. My family, for example, has always been with the thrones that I'm having on my shoulder, and
Okay.
my aunt is in the thing. So it's a big thing, Joe.
Okay, then I'll take it as a sign
It's a
of
really big honor.
affection and a compliment from the people of that town.
Yeah,
But
so
yes, I
that's a really
think
good thing. Now we're
yeah,
going to football.
back to the football. Yeah, I think lots of people will definitely enjoy that introduction to Semana Santa. But like you said, time to get back to football. And I guess you could say now that was it how many games to go? Whatever games are remaining, most of them should be classified as must win. And yeah, before we give our opinion on the next game against Huesca, I think it's time, as always, to hear from Alex Fitzpatrick of the Spanish Segunda Show, who will give a nice lowdown for Malaga fans.
It is incredibly tight at the bottom of the division, with Malaga now just 3 points above the drop zone. At least we know that this coming weekend, Malaga cannot drop into the bottom four, because Eldense play Sporting on Sunday. And of course, both of those teams are below Malaga and both cannot win. That's the positive. But the negative, of course, the fact that those two teams play each other means that at least one of them, if not both, will gain points on Malaga ahead of Monday night's game. And that Monday night game is against Huesca. Huesca in 6th position in the table. And normally I'd be saying going away to a team 6th in the table is not good news. Well, you could be going somewhere a little bit better than away to Huesca, but they are punching above their weight this season, but on a pretty poor run as things stand, and starting to drop away in that top 6 race, just clinging on to 6 at the moment. They've got 4 defeats in their last 5 games, Huesca. Their success this season has been built on an incredibly solid defence. Currently, they've got the 3rd best defence in the league, playing 5 at the back generally. Very solid, putting men in behind the ball and sitting back. But this has crumbled in recent weeks. Those 4 defeats in 5, they've conceded 2 goals in each of those 5 games, including in the one that they won. They scored 3 and won that 3-2. So there may be the opportunity to get goals, but if they have a good day, then defensively they are very, very good. More good news from Malaga. Oscar Silva is their key player in central midfield. He's suspended after being sent off in stoppage time of last weekend's game against Burgos. Gerard Valentin is their key attacking outlet on the right-hand side, right wing back. He has also been injured of late and therefore is likely to be out on Monday too. Keep an eye on Socko up front. He is very, very quick. He's the quickest player in Segunda, and around about 50% of Huesca's goals come from set pieces. So corners, free kicks, beware. That is where their danger is. That's Huesca against Malaga Monday night, playing against the team 6th in the table.
Okay, thanks as always to Alex on the Spanish Segunda Show, and as always, as we always say, definitely make sure to check them out. Serious experts on all thing Segunda football.
I think everybody is interested in Malaga, but I think it's a good moment to start listening to them, because the situation Malaga is in, it's good to know what's happening with the rest of the teams and how they are doing.
And it's good as well because, let's be positive, you're going to listen next season as well for all things for the Malaga laydown as well, because Malaga will still be there next season. But yeah, if we go back to one of the things Alex said is that Malaga can't go into the bottom 4. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. As well for the confidence, I still think, and not only for the players, for the fans. We all know that it's not the same being out the relegation zone than being in it as well, because all the panic starts. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but I think this league, it's already demonstrated to us that anyone can win anyone. So they're as well not in the best form. So why not? Let's give it a try. And I think we need to be positive and trying to get the 3 points, of course.
Of course, because the negative thing is in the last meetings, Huesca won 4, there were 2 draws, and Malaga won 1. But the one Malaga won was at the start of this season. So we won already against them this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's positive.
And do either of you remember that game well? Like, do you remember, do you think in your eyes Malaga won the game fairly? Do you see any obvious weak spots of Huesca that could be exploited from that game?
If I'm right, they had a goal which was disallowed. in the 42nd minute. And but you won't believe this. You know who scored?
No, who?
Sergio Castel. Oh no, there was a chance. It was an own goal. Sorry, it was an own goal in the 42nd minute, and Castel had a big chance. I remember it in the 88th minute.
Mm.
Debut match.
Who?
Wow.
Yeah,
The forgotten man. But yeah, obviously, I think Huesca are definitely one of the surprise packages of the league this season. Maybe, like Alex said, they've fallen off a bit now. Actually, lost 4 of their last 5 games. Extremely defensively solid. Actually, had the highest amount of clearances on average in each game in the division, which shows that they're a team that relies on defense. So, if you're the manager, how do you approach this game? Like, especially compared to how we lined up against Cordoba, what would you change?
It's difficult to say, but how they're set up. I imagine Malaga are gonna have try to have the possession of the game, try to mark the rhythm, and without Luismi, it's a blow. But I think Manu Molina does that really well. I think he's going to be our key player for this one, probably till the end of the season in that midfield. And yeah, we need to try to dominate the game, create our chances, be the team that's there for the 3 points. It's obviously going to be difficult. We need to be careful if we do have that plan of dominating the game with the counter attacks because they've got Patrick Soko in the forward that is really fast and is really dangerous. So we need to be careful with that. But yeah, I think Malaga will try to dominate the game, and I think Manu Molina is going to be a key player for that role. So
yeah.
let's
I
see
think
what-
what also is important is that they have this guy. His name is Javi Mir. He's a pretty good footballer, but he's injured. So they are missing Javi Mir, which is great. And they also have 5 players who have 4 yellow cards. So I think they're trying also not to get too many yellow cards next week because with 5 players with 4 yellows, that will mean they will miss next week, and they're playing for playoffs. So they're playing for something still. So I think that's good news. For the rest, it's going to be a tough match, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I think whenever you play against a team that's defensively solid, the approach to go with is always risky because you kind of you can play them at their own game, but then it can be a bit of a stalemate. But then if you go too much at them, then you're exposed on the counter attack. And like you said, Sergio, Soko is definitely one player to look out for. Is there any other players that you got your eye on? I know they've got Sergi Enrique, the controversial striker. I don't think he starts a lot of games, but I think he scored in the last game in their loss against Burgos. Is there any other players that have caught your eye?
Well, Joaquin Munoz, that we remember him quite well, was past when he played at Malaga in the COVID year. I think I've always thought he's a quite good player. He's dangerous. 1v1 is really good, and it'll be a challenge for Danny Sanchez or Victor, whoever starts. And yeah, but we've got our own players. We've got La Rubia that is coming from a decent match against Cordoba. We've got Bulga on the overlap, and we need to be the one dominating this game and trying to get the 3 points. We the one that mostly need it. I know that Huesca is fighting for playoff, but I don't think that was in their plans at the beginning of the season. I think they're doing really well to be where they are, but we're the ones that need to stay up, and we need to get the 3 points. Oh, we can.
So their manager is former Malaga player Antonio Hidalgo. He has already been 69 matches the manager of Huesca, and Hidalgo has been a very important player in the season that Malaga got promoted to Primera División. in, I don't remember the year, it must be
Yeah.
1998,
No,
no, 2008,
2008 probably.
I believe. But under Hidalgo, they won 27 matches, they drew 21, and they lost 21. So it's actually pretty good stats for a manager, isn't it? Um, as you said, a former Malaga player Joaquin Munoz plays there. He's on 4 yellows. It is a difficult team. Malaga always finds it hard to play at their stadium away in Huesca. So it's going to be tough. But now that we've seen the stats of Antonio Hidalgo, maybe it's a good moment to talk about Sergio Pellicer because we record this on a Monday for everybody who didn't get the clue yet or the clues during the past weeks. Should we sack him? Should we keep him?
I mean, I never like to talk about someone losing their job, especially in this day and age. It's tough for everyone, but
that's football as well.
exactly, yeah. And it's also the manager's job to win games and instill confidence and belief into the team. But that's not what's happening at the moment. I think, of course, it's hard to sack a manager after potentially losing against sixth in the league, but there's not many games to go. And I don't know how, Sergio, do you feel is Pellicer the manager to keep Malaga up?
I know the topic is there. What's going to happen with him? So we keep him or sack him? For me, you need to keep him. I don't see who else you would put in there right now. I don't think there's interesting options that could fit in well. It's a very risk if they take the decision to sack him. I really don't think they are going to take that responsibility and sack the manager with the time that's left. The only thing that we can do is back him for what's left.
I want to give you some stats. It's 9 wins, 15 draws, and 11 losses for Sergio Pellicer.
Yeah.
42 points in the league, 36 goals for, and 40 against. I find it a hard topic because if there is one man who is Malaga Club de Football and everybody he has is Malaga Club de Football, it's Sergio Pellicer. He played for Malaga as a player. He was the manager of the youth team and became the manager of Malaga Club de Football for twice now, probably, if I'm right.
Yeah, twice. Second time.
Second time, he came in at a very shitty situation, got us promoted, got us 42 points this season. I think I'm not a big fan of his style of playing, but I think as well that it doesn't really matter who you put on the trainer position at Malaga because nothing will change. I think Malaga's problems go above Sergio Pellicer or any manager or the team. I think it's a structural problem we have at the club with maybe the board or maybe people who take the decisions whether to spend money or not. And I think that's Malaga's biggest problem. So I don't really think for the future, for next season, it really doesn't matter who you put on the spot because they will do the same as Sergio Pellicer because it's a structural problem which doesn't, well, of course, a manager has influence, but maybe looking at this season, we have seen other teams who have changed their manager. They did really well last week. I don't know. I find it really hard because if there is one person with a Malaga heart and if there is one manager who loves Malaga, feels Malaga, understands Malaga, and would also be the manager of Malaga if they got relegated 6 more times, would be Sergio Pellicer. So I find that hard, but I don't understand some of his decisions, like not playing Dione every week. That's something I don't get. Why change your strikers every week? That's the thing, and I think he makes too many mistakes.
I think managers that are under pressure typically struggle to find their consistency and do make a lot of changes. You see that at a lot of clubs, but that also is that can also be a negative as well. And when players aren't playing with rhythm and they're not getting the confidence by starting every game, then that's where problems can occur. And I think it's kind of something that's been going on now for at least a few weeks, maybe even months. And yeah,
I think there are two positions where you need to be confident more than any other position on the pitch. That's your goalkeeper, and that's your striker. And I think both those positions are probably the most important positions, because if your player there doesn't do his thing, I mean, at the back you have like 4 defenders or 5 defenders or whatever style you play, but you have more people to solve your problem. And of course, but a striker has to score your goals, and a goalie has to, you know, such. I think it's the most important positions on the pitch, and maybe of course you're a good center back and a good midfielder as well. But I think I don't know.
It's the two positions that have, I guess you could say, the biggest direct influence on a game of football. Like, what goalkeeper can make one mistake and it's a goal. Striker can miss a chance.
I would include the midfielder. For me,
Yeah.
it's really important as well.
Yeah.
And we've
But if
seen
you-
it recently.
You remember this a few seasons ago where it was 1 week Dani Barrio played, I believe, and the other week was who was it? I don't even remember his name.
Juan Soriano, or was
Yeah.
it Juan Soriano?
And that was also on the Pellicer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
the COVID
the
year.
strangest football season where they would play every week with a different goalkeeper.
I think Brighton did that for a bit as well, but like you don't see it very often, rotating goalkeepers.
No.
You need the consistency there.
Yeah.
But maybe whilst we're talking about specific positions, specific players, is there anything player-wise, personnel-wise that you changed from the last game? Maybe I think most people agree here. They like to see Dione come in.
Yeah.
Any other changes you'd make if you were the manager, player-wise?
I imagine because Kevin's out for this one, I hope he puts Antonito,
Yeah.
because I don't think we've got many options on that
And
side.
don't play Romani. Just don't play Romani.
I was going to ask. No one fancy him. No one
Sure.
give him a go.
Please no. And
And Luismi is out, of course. Who would you put in Luismi's
out,
place?
of course. I imagine he'll play Juanpe.
Yeah, and I don't like Juanpe.
I don't like Juanpe, but
Doesn't really instill.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Or would you say Ethan Merino
Yeah, possible.
instead of Juanpe?
I would play Ethan Medina instead of Juanpe.
I guess it's usually in these situations you say, oh, when you play the younger player, it's more of a risk. But in this case, is it more of a risk?
Or maybe playing against such a defensive team, why not play with Manu Molina and Aaron Ochoa?
Is it the time to take risks? That's the question. Is it a risk though? That's the thing.
I think it's time to take risks more than any other week.
I guess because whatever he tried before hasn't worked over the last week, so why not try something new?
Yeah.
Maybe the top of 5 at the back is not being reading that.
Yeah, but if you're playing against a very defensive team, playing with
I know, but maybe you have more chance of getting Buga and Dani Sanchez with the wing. I don't know. I mean, I really doubt he does that either way, but you have to change.
Is this a moment, Sergio, where you have to go against Huesca, you have to go for the 3 points, or is this a moment where you would say, I'm happy with a draw?
You need to go for the 3 points. There's no time to drop in more points, in my opinion. I think that the games that are left, you need to fight for the 3 points, because if not, the teams at the bottom will get them, and you're going to stay behind, and it's not ideal going to the last 2 games of the season being in a relegation spot, because that will be a disaster. So we need to start picking up 3 points, especially at home. But that's not the case because we've got 2 away games, so there's no excuse. We need to when you don't pick your 3 points at home, you're forced to pick them away. So I know it's going to be tough, but it's what we have to do. If we want to stay in this division, we're going to have to get 3 points, and I'm confident. I think we're going to do it. So let's see what happens.
That's confident. What do you think, Joe? 3 points, 1 point?
I think at this point, when you're playing against a team that's sixth but in really bad form, and when I think Malaga aren't quite in a desperate situation yet, but when you see the form of the teams around them, I think 3 points is crucial. I wish it was as easy as saying that, but yeah, I think we'll briefly touch on the games around the league as well, especially in the bottom few positions. But I think they're not going to win every game, but I think this is a game that
It's
8
what you
matches
said
left.
as well.
There's 8 matches left. I think surviving April is key. So I think we should look at the teams we play and the teams the other teams play. We play against Huesca next Monday, then against Eibar away, and then against Castellón. 3 very difficult matches. Castellón is an option, but I don't see us winning against Eibar.
And that's who Zaragoza play this weekend as well, or next weekend.
If we go to the next team, would be Sporting. Real Sporting de Gijón were underneath us. And their matches are in the next way, the upcoming. Well, let's look at the month of April. They play against Eldense, as Alex Fitzpatrick said. Then Mirandes. And then against Cádiz.
Yeah, and we need to point out Zaragoza play Ferrol and Cartagena in a row, so they'll probably pick up home. So
Mirandes is difficult, and I think Cádiz will be difficult for them as well.
Yeah.
So that's one less.
For me, the positive is that Malaga play against their rivals.
That's in the month of May.
We play Castellón at home.
Yeah.
Eldense away, Sporting at home. So
the must-wins.
The must-wins, yeah. And if I look at Zaragoza, for example, Zaragoza play in. Oh. Here it is. They play against Eibar, Levante, and Huesca in April. So they also have a very tough schedule. So that's also positive. The thing is that in May, they have a bit more easy schedule with Ferrol, Zaragoza, with Ferrol, Cartagena. But then they also play in May against Oviedo and against Depor.
But as well, if Zaragoza don't have these 3 games that come now, if they don't do well, they're going to really feel the pressure against Ferrol and Cartagena. Even though they're already relegated, it's still not easy. I remember when Malaga went down, when we had games, and when you feel the pressure, it's not the same than playing in another time of the year. So,
and I think, the other team we have to look at is Eldense.
Yeah.
And Eldense is playing against
Sporting.
Sporting Gijón, Ferrol, and Córdoba. So they have the most easy schedule. But then afterwards they have Almeria, Malaga, Castellón, and Racing Santander.
It's a tough end to the season.
And Huesca away, the last one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But then Sporting is fighting as well, and Racing for well, they have nothing to fight for, right? Difficult.
And are we looking at Castellón? Castellón's got a difficult schedule.
And they have the same amount of points as we do.
Yeah, they've got Racing away this weekend, Almeria at home, Malaga away, Sporting at home. I think them 2 games for them are crucial against us against Sporting. Then they've got Mirandés away that they'll be fighting for the playoffs, I imagine. Eldense at home, another crucial one for them. And then it's Granada away and the last game of the season against Zaragoza at home. So, yeah, I would say it's I think they've got difficult games there. I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult.
I think you still want to be in that situation maybe like a couple of seasons ago when Malaga just survived, but it was more on how bad the teams around them were rather than Malaga fighting out themselves, which you'd rather see this season while there's still time to turn it around.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
my thing is that over the past 5 years, well, not counting last season, we just don't learn from our mistakes at Malaga. We just don't seem to be able to put on a good team. It just doesn't happen.
But looking for the positives, we depend on us. It's not like the season that we went down that, as Joe said, we have to win and we have to wait to other 2 teams to draw and drop points. It's
the whole schedule which was made
it was a nightmare. But it's in our hands, so if we win our games, we'll stay up. It's as simple as that, and I think that's an important message that BFID has to give to the squad. It's in our hands, and we're capable of getting the points that we need. We don't have to look at anybody else. We just need to focus on us. So I think that's important.
And I think we as fans have to stay behind the team, whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Because now more than any other week. And I think La Rosaleda can play a key. Fondo Sur can play a key in that. I think if we all get behind it, then beautiful things can happen. Because I also see a lot of people angry, critiques from the stadium, people leaving the match early.
Yeah.
Those are things that doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's a difficult situation. It's not Bayer Leverkusen, but now we have Joe. And with Joe being a Bayer Leverkusen fan, you saw what happened to Bayer Leverkusen. They became, something.
I mean, when Xabi Alonso took over, they were 17th in the Bundesliga or 15th. And then
they became champion of the Bundesliga.
Look what happened for the first time ever.
I can't even remember since when Bayern didn't win it.
I think it was the first time since 2011. I think it was 13 years, maybe. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw them play against Feyenoord. It was, it still hurts. There was this Champions League season, 4-0, 5-0. I don't remember.
Yeah, when Bayern want to be, they can be ruthless, and that's what we want to see. Let's see if Malaga can be ruthless on Monday.
Yeah, they will, because they have all the Christs and all the Christs and virgins behind them. I think I'm going to thank you both for listening. Sergio, thank you. You have anything to say?
What I said before, that it's difficult times, but we need to stay together. Try not. I know it's difficult, but try not being so against the team. Everything goes wrong. We need to stay together. There's not long, and that's how you you get to look at last year. The city were together, the club were together, and we got what we all wanted. So this year has to be the same. I'm sure that we're gonna do it.
And you, Joe, thank you for joining. How was your first week on the GearyCast?
Enjoyed it a lot. Very happy to be here, and yeah, hope to hear you here next week as well, and maybe with a positive result. I think we brought a lot of positivity still to the fans. I hope the positive vibes that we're bringing also be felt throughout the fan base. But yeah, it's a big moment for the club, but I think there's still hope, and especially in the special week that's upcoming with Semana Santa, then now's the time to, yeah.
Then I'm going to end it like this because we have the GearyCast mic back from Madrid from Alex. So I think we're going to create a lot more content with this mic as well in the future. So stay tuned, follow, like, subscribe.
Everything.
Do what other content creators ask you to do. I think that's the best. And vamos Malaga.
Vamos Malaga.
Vamos Malaga.